Joined by Joey Logano, who set a new track record today with a strong run out there. Joey, tell us about your lap out there.
It wasn't bad. Good enough to get the pole, so that's good. I felt like it was going to take a 10 or a 20 to get the pole. We ran a 30, so I wasn't very confident about it after it, but I've had a really good Shell Penzo 4 since we unloaded today in race trim and obviously in qualifying trim. So having clean air here is huge, so we'll be able to start with that and try to have the right strategy, try to get our car good for tomorrow and getting it to where it can pass cars, and we'll see what happens from there.
With this being your first pole this season, you also are now qualified for the 2014 Sprint Unlimited at Daytona.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I thought about that when we were waiting out there. It's like I really want to be in that race, so it's neat to be in that race. And obviously, in the beginning of the year, and it's a kind of a one that knocks the rest off before you get to the 500. So it's important for that. And yeah.
All right, we'll open up for some questions. If you raise your hand, we'll get a wireless mic to you. We'll start with Reed.
Reed Spencer with NASCAR Wire Service. Joey, this is your 6th career pole, but your first with Penske Racing at a track that Roger owned. Could you comment on that?
Yeah, when you come to Michigan, obviously there's extra incentive here to win and get poles. For one, Ford being here, another one for Penske, also having their headquarters here. So anytime you can come here and get a pole for Roger, that's huge. And I think what you've seen here is, we ran really well here in the spring, and you come back here in a short amount of time, and you're able to use your notes that you had from there. And this is the second time we've come here as a team, and we're able to learn a lot from it. So we were able to use that, capitalize on it, and hopefully we can do that throughout the rest of the season. Obviously these next 4 races are super, super important for us. We can't afford to have a bad one, and if we can get a win, that's huge. And I feel like the next couple of weeks are our best shots at it.
Joey, over here, Bob Duff from the Windsor Star. Your vehicle dynamic engineer, Steve Reese, is from Windsor. What role does he play in a day like this?
Oh, Reese, he's the man. He's, obviously he does a lot of our sim stuff and with our setups, and working a lot with us. We have another engineer, Miles, and Todd. And so it's really like the 4 of us will really go over the chassis and what we're going to do and try to come up with the best route. And that's the best thing I see about this team, this 22 team, is that, it's not just Todd. It's not just, Reese. It's all these guys, and we're all working together, and we're all coming up with ideas, and we hash it out and talk about it for a while, and we come up with some really good changes for the race. So Reese has done a great job for us. He's been on that 22 team for a long time, so obviously he's been doing a good job.
We'll go to Lee, Kenny, and then Bob.
Lee Spencer, Fox Sports. Couple of topics that you know a lot about. First of all, the contemplating whether or not to put Kyle Larson at 21 in a Sprint Cup ride. What's your opinion on that, since you were thrust in at a very young age?
It's Kyle's got obviously a ton of talent, and there's no doubt in my mind that he will be in the Sprint Cup Series, and it's a big step. I know it's a big step, and I think he knows it's going to be a big step. But I think he can handle it also. How old is he now? 21? 21. He's a lot older than I was when I first started doing it, and he's got a lot more racing experience than I did when I first started. So I feel like he does have a shot at it, and I don't know what the plan is with that car and what they're going to do, and I really try to focus in on my own stuff. But I think Kyle's an amazing talent that will make it someday. But at the same time, I always tell people, don't rush it, because sometimes it's not quite worth it. And I've been fortunate to have this second chance over here at Penske, and it's been working out for me perfectly, because I have the experience on my side now to go out there and race these guys.
Secondly, and we may go to 3 things, but you know what it's like to have to fill the shoes of Tony Stewart, having jumped in the 20 car after he did. Man,
you got a lot of good questions that relate to me, huh?
Yeah, well, I mean, you're like the poster child for all of this. Austin Dillon, what can he expect? It's one thing to kind of be under the radar in the 31 car, or, driving something for his grandfather, but this is, going to be an opportunity to really showcase what he has with a championship caliber team.
Yeah. Also similar situation that I've been through. But once again, he has a lot more experience than I did at the time, so I feel like he can do a good job. And I think he showed some speed in practice today. And he's run a few Cup races in that 51 car, and I think some in an RCR car. And he's always had the spotlight on him. You know, ever since he started racing trucks, there's always been a spotlight on him, and I think he's used to that. So I don't think that even bothers him. I know the spotlight really didn't bother me too much. It's more the fact of how you run. And we'll just have to wait and see. You know, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if he ran well at all. I mean, I think he can do it, yeah.
You've been in silly season last year, so it's still pretty fresh in your mind. Any suggestions you have for, you know?
I'm glad I'm not in the middle of silly season right now. It's nice just to have a ride and, you know, and really be able to focus on your race car and not be worrying about, you know, where you're going to drive next year and what's going to happen. And, you know, you get distracted very easily through all that because obviously a lot of thought goes into that and you have to go think through that. But if you take that distraction away, obviously it helps a lot. And it's hard for any driver to go through that. And it happens a lot. It happens, you know, and you never know what's going to happen. And it makes it entertaining. I read all your guys' stories of what we think is going to happen and what all the rumors are. And it's pretty cool to listen to it. But it's also a lot of fun not to be involved in it for a change.
Go to Kenny.
Kenny Bruce with NASCAR.com. Joey, if you had to guess with the additional speed that you guys are getting out there now, what's that going to mean for the race on Sunday?
I think this racetrack in general is getting better throughout time. I think you see some of the color go away on the racetrack. It's getting, you know, grayer. The track's coming in quicker. You know, I'm running the truck this weekend, and you know, we were the first group of cars that go on the racetrack, and you know, you usually see here just cars sliding around for forever, and then you know, you're tightening your car up a lot, and then it rubbers up, and you can't loosen it up enough. It doesn't seem like it's going through that transition as much. And you can see that bottom lane slowly but surely coming in. I think the trucks are great to have to race here because it's easier for them to run the bottom because, you know, you're pretty much wide open. You know, when a truck around here, it's like Daytona. You know, it's just wide open. But when you get in a pack, you know, there's a lot of sliding around and all. But I think those races are going to bring in that bottom lane, which is going to help the racing. And you can obviously see the outside. It'll widen up slowly but surely throughout the race. So I think by the time it comes to the end of the race, we're going to have a 3-lane racetrack, which is good. You know, that's a lot of progress from what we had when we first repaved this racetrack. So within time, these tracks get better and better, and it'll be like it was eventually when we're running up against the fence here and trying to decide what line we're gonna run to qualify. You're gonna run against the wall. You're gonna be on the white line, and it's gonna be like that in a little bit. So I'm looking forward to it.
Bob.
Bob Hocker, Sporting News. You talked about important to be on the pole for Ford and everything, but you know, it seems that the Roush cars have kind of been on the pole, and obviously one here in June. Is there a little bit of competition within the Ford camp, and was this important at all as part of any of that competition?
Well, they're competitors, so yes, we want to beat them. You know, but at the same time, you know, obviously they're Ford teammates. We want to work with them the best we can, and they work with us the best they can to try to make you know, Ford teams in general better. And I think you see that as the years gone, I think Ford has gotten better and you know, continually finding more speed. And you know, I think it was for a little bit that, you know, none of us are qualifying very well. Now we're all kind of up there, and you know, we got speed back in our cars, and I feel like we got the speed back that we had in the beginning of the season. So I'm pretty excited about where we stand right now as Ford's team. And like I said, obviously here in Michigan, it makes it even bigger.
Stan.
Hi, Joey. Stan Creekmore with RPMTonight.com. How far do you think you will have to back off from that qualifying setup to be able to, you know, do 40 to 45 laps here?
One of the things you change, you know, you're obviously taking tape off the grill, so that's a lot of front downforce percentage that you're taking off your car, and you're changing your air pressures a lot for a long run. Those two things are huge. You have to have your offset, which is your qualifying setup, to your race setup, kind of figured out, and I think we kind of know where we're at from where we were in the spring and what we had today in race trim practice. So you'll have to come off it quite a bit. You got to definitely free your car up quite a bit. When you put all that downforce on the front of the cars, you got to find a way to tighten them up, whether it's nose weight or whatever it is. That's what you got to try to figure out what that offset is. And you really in qualifying practice, you get 2-3 runs at it. So you got to try to have that figured out before you get to the racetrack.
Okay, so Kurt Busch said he felt like in his run he got at least as high as 212 miles an hour. Do you think you'll come anywhere close to 200 during the actual race?
I think we'll go faster. Top speed. We'll slow down a lot more in the corners. But, I think we've seen a few times, Pocono is standing out in my mind, that when you get, cars in a draft that are punching such a big hole in the air right now, I'm definitely, in your tack, you can see the red lights and you can watch it. I'm definitely turning a lot more in the pack in race trim than I am in qualifying, for sure. I don't know how fast it is, but it feels freaking fast.
Reed Spencer with NASCAR Wire Service. As a follow-up on your comment about using the notes from June, when Martin Truex was in here, he talked about how they basically use that as a baseline, but their setups are radically different now than they were 2 months ago. Is that true of you guys also?
I feel like we've just kind of fine-tuned what we had, and we've come up with some ideas that we would like to, fine-tune with what we have even more, and we'll like to try to kind of go on that tomorrow. But a lot of times when you do go to a racetrack, you race early in the season, and then the next, you think of Phoenix. It's the third race in the beginning. I think it's like third to last or second to last. The cars change so much between that your setups, or you can't even really use the notes you had because your setup's so different. So here it's kind of cool. Pocono, Michigan, the races are so close together that they don't change a whole bunch. I mean, for some teams they might. Obviously, for Truex, I guess it is. That's good to know. But ours isn't much different at all, and we're just trying to fine tune what we had and work on what we fought in the race and try to have a good direction. And really, the bigger thing for us right now is as a team coming to a racetrack for the second time. Todd and myself and all the 22 team, working together, coming back to a racetrack with a notebook. That's very, very valuable.
Joey, over here in the middle, Mike Griffith from MLive.com. Kurt was in here earlier, and he said he backed off a little bit in 3 and thought you ran a perfect lap. Did you run a perfect lap, or did you back off in 3 a little bit also? I had a really good 3 and 4, but I didn't have the best 1 and 2. That's what I was a little disappointed about. I thought I needed to pick up more speed than what I did, but I fought tight in 1 and 2 in practice, and we loosened the car up some to try to fix that. But I was still kind of preparing myself to be tight down there and making sure I didn't overrun the corner, because that's what I did in the spring here is I overrun that corner, and I lost a lot of speed. So I had that in the back of my mind, and I didn't drive the car quite hard enough into the corner through there, but still didn't lose much speed at all by that, and I really had a really good 3 and 4, which was able to get us the pin.
Mike?
Mike Hember, USA Today. If you can win a couple races in these next 4, you're probably in the chase, but you also have a shot to get in with points. You could slide in there. How do you kind of balance that out, wanting to maybe be aggressive to win, but not wanting to crash either?
Yeah. We're 27 points out, I believe, and that doesn't sound like a lot, but the amount of cars that are in between us is a lot. So, you got to pass a lot of cars, and that's the difficult part. And like you said, 1 win is not going to be enough right now. You got to have win points or 2 wins. And we have 4 races left. We're coming off a streak of 3 top 10s, and I feel like the streak we had before that of like 6, before we had our flat tire issues, was even stronger. So the momentum is behind us. We've been very solid throughout the season. There's no doubt in my mind we shouldn't be 5th in points right now, but the case is we're not, and we'll keep working to get in the chase. We're definitely a chase caliber team that I feel like we're even a championship caliber team as we go throughout the season and learn each other and keep making our race cars faster. So I'm excited about that fact, but I really want to get in the chase, and it's we got our work cut out in front of us right now, but we're by no means out of it. I feel like we really got a good shot. I like our chances to do it. But it is we're one bad race from saying we're out. So we got to make the most out of the next 4.
Any more questions for Joey? All right, Joey, congratulations on the pole and the track record, and good luck on Sunday.
Thank you. Appreciate it, guys.